Hey, what's up guys? Back here today in another Sea of Thieves video. Today we're playing on Community Day. Sorry I'm getting this video out a little bit late. It was last weekend. Crazy time goes that fast, but I was busy pretty much the whole week. But yeah, this is kind of a tutorial video on how to make a lot of money fast in Sea of Thieves, but it's also just kind of my experience as we went along and tried to do it. So basically what we did is we set up a gold hoarders emissary on Community Day, which are dates that kind of happen randomly. I don't know exactly how they come to be, but just if you look around on like the notifications page on your Xbox or just around the internet or whatever, you can probably find out when the next Community Day is. And we did a vault quest, and Community Day, what it does is it adds a percentage onto the base value of what stuff is worth, so you make more money than you usually do, basically, without getting too complicated in math terms. But then you have the emissary that we have equipped, and the higher emissary value, the more money it adds on, even more so, and that just kind of stacks, which is a really obviously OP and quick way to make a lot of money. So yeah. However, one thing to note is that there's going to be a lot of people also trying to make a bunch of money during the Community Day event, so you got to keep your eyes on the horizon at all times. This sloop over there didn't end up being much of a problem, but I did not anchor the boat just in case it turned out to be one. What turned out to happen was that a Reaper emissary came by and sank them, so they were served as a pretty useful distraction so we could grab the map piece we needed here and then skedaddle. An important thing to note is that you can actually complete these vault quests relatively quickly if you are lucky enough to get the X where the key is located on a piece of parchment without discovering all of the pieces of parchment, because usually the islands are pretty recognizable in shape. So as long as you find the X, you should be able to find the key without looking for the other pieces. It took us a while, but we did finally make it to the island that had the key on it, because we were trying to stay out of the line of sight of the Reaper emissary that you saw on the map earlier. And we did manage to avoid them, but I didn't anchor just in case they decided to chase after us, so I could make a quick escape while my crewmate found the key. After retrieving the key, the last part of the mission was to open the vault. But first we decided to peck away at this mermaid statue, which was really frustrating to crack open, but luckily the red gems are worth the most, so it proved out to be more worthwhile to break it open. Your time in these vaults is extremely limited, so you usually want to go ahead and grab all the chests out first, as they're going to be your most valuable items. The gold stacks, you can have a crewmate stay in there once it fills up with water and just grab it before they drown and inevitably respawn. But the harder part lies in completing the puzzle, which luckily we actually figured out how to do these puzzles. The first part of the puzzle is to find 3 or 4 little stone keys that you put into the thing, and then you have to line up the pattern on the pillars a certain way, and then it opens a vault that has an extremely valuable chest inside. I think it alone is worth like 10,000, so it's definitely worth trying to figure out the puzzle if you can. It also is ideal to do this with multiple people, that way you can work through the puzzle and grab all the chests out as quickly as possible. If you're solo, it's going to be relatively hard to get all the loot out, but it's still possible to make quite a bit. If you're solo, it'd probably be more advisable to do like be on a sloop and take down a pirate fleet event Those offer pretty similar amounts of loot, maybe even more, and they're very doable solo on a sloop if you know what you're doing. Once you've gotten everything you can, just go ahead and try to grab as much gold as you can. Make sure you have at least one teammate outside, just to make sure the vault doesn't, like, the outer vault door doesn't close. The inner vault one will. The outer vault one should stay open as long as there's a player in the area. So yeah, and then just go in and grab gold until you run out of breath. It's a bit of a brutal way to go out, but I mean, you got a lot more money because of it. So a little bit more detail on how emissaries work. The more treasure you find, the more your emissary value goes up, and also the more treasure you actually put on your boat, you get a little bit more value from that. But we weren't quite up to tier 5. The higher tier you are, the more percentage you get added on money wise. So it's worthwhile to stockpile until you get to tier 5. Selling off stuff doesn't decrease your tier, but I'm pretty sure putting down your flag or getting it stolen does. So it makes sense just to grab as much stuff as you can to get to tier 5 and then sell, and then get more stuff and then sell, because it'll still be tier 5. But we weren't quite tier 5, so I wanted to do a few forts to see if we could get up to tier 5. Unfortunately, there was a fort nearby, but there was a player galleon at it, and we didn't want to mess with potentially a crew of 4. Even a crew of 3 would probably be too much for us to take. We actually had to end up sailing almost to the complete opposite end of the map because there's just way too many players in the area that we were at. But we did finally get to a fort and completed it relatively easy. They're easy once you figure out how to do them. But a tip is that you can actually find not only the vault key from defeating the captain, there's sometimes there always is another key hidden that opens a locked room on the top floor that has a couple of thousands worth of loot in it. So it's worth looking for the key if you have the time. If you're in a rush, it's not probably worth your time, but it is something, and it's cool little feature that there is in the sea forts that I didn't realize whenever I first started doing them. And it will definitely help you to get some more value out of them. storeroom key can really be inside of anything you can open, like the little boxes, cabinets, drawers, dressers, really anything in the fort, inside or outside, so just look around for it. And as you can see, it had a few more chests in it, probably worth a total of maybe 5,000 or something, but it's nice just to have that little bit of extra reward. We ended up sailing to another fort because they're relatively easy to build loot, and we weren't quite to tier 5 on our emissary yet. My crewmate was really against this idea because he was afraid we would get caught with all of our loot sitting on that boat and wanted to sell it off, but I told him it would probably be more worth the payoff because there wasn't anyone on this side of the map anyway, so we were fine to just grab stuff and sell whenever we needed to.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! Oh!
We were done selling the stuff we made from that trip, but we were far from done making money on this community day. Our special emissary quest has sent us on a search around some nearby islands for captain's chests. Several of them on each island, like 5, and there was 4 different islands. So 20 of these chests with emissary boost and community day boost, as you'd imagine, made quite a bit. It was a bit tedious to go find them all, but it took no more than an hour to get all of them and then sell them. When it was all said and done, I had made almost 300,000, which was not bad considering we had only played for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and it was one of my most productive days in Sea of Thieves ever. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, obviously this isn't the best way you can make money, but for my first community day, I didn't think it was too bad. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.